lot of mumblings, rumors, reports over the last, I would say, week or so about the future of all these here Marvel Netflix characters. Obviously including Daredevil and Punisher being the big ones that I think most people are like, no, this is the ones we want. This is it.
And Kingpin.
Yeah, of course. Kingpin. Yeah, everybody wants D'Onofrio back. I'm pretty sure nobody's like, yeah, you can do better than that casting. You probably can't. Like, let's be real with you.
No, I don't think you can.
Yeah. So, what's your take on some of these rumors? Because honestly, there's a lot of them. Like, there's a lot.
I mean, for the most part, I think it's kind of, there was rumors about a year or probably like a year and a half ago at this point where it was that they were talking to, or they wanted Cox, Ritter, and Bernthal, and I can't D'Onofrio back. I really forgot their names just then. Yeah, and now it feels like the same rumor again, but now it's just, oh yeah, they've signed on, they want them.
Yeah. I mean, this time people are like, well, we're more confident now because they're like, oh, Charlie Cox is definitely appearing in Spider-Man, and this character is appearing here. Oh, and She-Hulk's going to have a cameo here. It's like, it almost feels like you just look at the logical progression of where these characters could go, and you just drop that as a rumor or a report now. It's like, well, any, average...
I think the Daredevil and Spider-Man still feels like just something people want to hear.
The same, yeah.
It's like, I can't, like, they're going to do it eventually. They're never not going to have those two meet up. They're always going to do it. But I'm still on that. If they done it, they did it when they weren't allowed to, and I don't see how Netflix would even allow that.
Mm-hmm.
Like this one now, if they, talking to them since December or November when they had everyone back, sure, fine. If they got them on board now and you're gonna get, say, like Daredevil and Jessica Jones and She-Hulk, yeah, sure, fine, I can believe that. I still have a real hard time believing the No Way Home.
And I mean, for people to say, well, no, they can do that, they can't. Remember, Kevin Feige and Marcus and McFeely confirmed that when they were talking to Sony in regards to Spider-Man, they weren't allowed to write Spider-Man into Civil War until Feige literally walked through the door and they said he gave them the thwip and said, we got him. And then they started working on it. Up until that point, they weren't even allowed to write Spider-Man on a script because illegally if somebody looked at it and said, you don't own that, they would have been in trouble. Daredevil is another scenario like that along with everybody else. So it's like that still, I'm in that same boat as you. Like, it feels like unless they did some sort of deal with them prior to it, there was no way they were able to. And if there was one deal, if there was anything, maybe, and I'm gonna, Mr. Fantastic, I am stretching so far with this one to connect dots, okay? Don't take anything I say for fact now. The Marvel, not Marvel, the Sony Netflix deal has been in the works for about 12 months now. I know that.
Yeah.
Maybe somewhere in there, Sony was like, hey, look, we're doing this third Spider-Man, Daredevil, we'll pony up the cash. Maybe Sony did, I don't know. It feels like it's just too many things that you have to line up in your head to make that a reality.
Yeah,
maybe they did,
because
I don't know.
even then, it's like, that's all well and good, them getting agreeing to Sony, like letting Sony to use him, but Marvel and Disney still pay money for that movie, so they'd have to agree with them as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like, it's not out of the realm of possibility, but who knows?
No.
I mean, along with that, we're also hearing, like, Bernthal, obviously they want him back. We've known that, though, because like, that's that's one of those castings where you're like, look, if we really recast this or something,
so it's all the ones that had the more positive reception to.
Mm-hmm.
No, the Luke Cage and Iron Fist, there hasn't been a lot of talk about those because there's probably not a lot of talk going on with those two. You might get Coulter back for Luke Cage. Are you going to get Finn Jones back as Iron Fist? I highly doubt that.
if you did, if you had better writers, you could do a really good job. But
You
like,
probably could, but you might as well just start afresh and new.
uh-huh.
Which is something this rumor also says that they're not going to be the Netflix versions. They're going to be the same characters, but different.
I mean, I'm okay with that. Like,
I'm okay with it, but at the same time, I feel like you're then banking on people just knowing the name and the actor and the character, and then this is going to cause a bit of confusion.
yeah, it's sort of like one of those things. I don't know what's the best way to equate this. Like, there is ways to handle this where a wink and nudge at the Netflix stuff, and then just get past it. Like, we can always get back to, oh, check it out, yes, Daredevil, he's going to face off Kingpin again, and they talk about how they've had history. You never explicitly have to go into what the history is, right? Like, same thing with Punisher. You'd be like, oh, we've met before, Red. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I suppose, but then I don't know. I feel like it's not only doing the actors slightly dirty, and I understand that Netflix has a grip on those shows. Maybe one day they let them go. Who knows? I'd hope so, but who knows? I don't know. I personally like it better if they weren't new version, because those shows, like, no matter what happened in that, maybe Defenders is the biggest the biggest push, but they're so inoffensive to the continuity as a whole. It's like you could just say yes or no. Are they in there? Are they not? Yes, cool.
Yeah.
No, cool. Right. Them being in there changes absolutely nothing.
It's true. Yeah, they're so. This isn't an insult to them, but they're insignificant to the MCU as it is.
Yeah.
Like, that's
to the story of what's going. Yeah.
I mean, it's like when you have this is our big Marvel event. Here's your 10 issues. And then you have the secondary titles that's like, okay, so you have your, I'll call it, I don't know, like, a Secret Invasion, right? Then they had the Secret Invasion tie-ins. And then they had the second tier tie-in that barely did anything. They just kind of sit on the outskirts. They're like, we're part of the event. That was the TV shows. Like,
I was say, Young Avengers and Runaways did that in Civil War. It's like, hey, we crossed over for 9 issues and it didn't affect anything in the slightest.
Yep.
We're off in our own little world. Like, yeah, cool. That's what these shows would be.
And that's where I'm at with these shows. Look, bring all the actors back. I'm fine with that. Acknowledge some stuff, but yeah, it's still that thing where I want it to happen so bad, and we keep hearing it that it's going to happen so bad that I'm like, I'm going to be disappointed when it doesn't, so I just don't want to anticipate it.
Yeah. Plus, you got a 5-year gap where you could just say they all dusted.
Yep.
They all got dusted, and now they're picking up right where they left off. Maybe have D'Onofrio have even more power over New York now. He's like, oh no, I helped you. You know what? Make D'Onofrio mayor of New York City, please.
Hell yeah.
Do keeping mayor in the 5 years he took the opportunity, he became mayor, he helped everyone out. Just take that route, please. Then have Cox get undusted, and now he's kind of like, I don't trust you.
I mean, could you imagine that? It's like everybody's like, yo, Kingpin helped us out. What do you mean this dude is bad? Like, he looked out for us. He was there when you guys weren't. What? It's like, yeah, that's a good angle to take on it. I mean, it's straight up Kingpin. Like, he would take advantage of that. So, yeah, that's. Well, we can hope.
At the end of the day, if Daredevil's in No Way Home, fantastic.
Yep.
Fantastic. If he's not, I'm not losing sleep over it because I'm not overly believing it anyway.
Exactly.
I'm keeping my expectations firmly in check.
Yep. That's
if he's in She-Hulk, even better.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah. That's all I'm saying. So temper expectations, but if it happens, damn, expectations blown away. That's how you should go into this.